If I can prove to you beyond the shadow of a doubt that the entire medieval ages are all a lie and never existed, would you be okay? This video may be hard for a lot of people to stomach, but I've been telling you guys, everything that we know is a lie. But y'all know I don't say things without proof. Don't be mad at me, I'm simply providing you with the information. So let's start here, and I'll show you that they have doubled names from the 1st century all the way to the medieval ages and made up a whole time period. Now everyone should be familiar with Revelation 13. It's talking right here about the beast rising out the ocean, which the Geneva 1560 says, here's a depiction of the Roman Empire, which standeth in cruelty and tyranny. Further, it says the 7 heads and the 10 horns, meaning Rome because it's the 5th government, by 7 kings of emperors after Nero. What I want to show you right here is who it places at the scene. Now this is not about Nero, but just to set the scene. When I talk about the deadly head wound in Revelation 13, it says, this may be understood as Nero, who was the first to move persecution against the church, and then he slew himself with a sword to the head. Of course, backed by history, whether they say it's a throat or a head wound. Now right here we have a massive clue. So the family of Caesars ended in Nero, but then it says that the empire was reestablished then by Vespasian. Okay, so we are totally talking about the 1st century. This is where it gets crazy. Take a look at who it places at the scene. It's talking about the beast rising out the earth with 2 horns of the lamb, speaks as a dragon. Mainstream calls him the false prophet. Let's see what the footnote says. There's the Pope's kingdom. It leads to perdition. And all these signifying features signify the priesthood of the kingdom. In his arms, 2 keys, and it has 2 swords carried before him. So Boniface the 8th, which first ordained the Jubilee year, whereas the parallel is one day the Pope and the next the Emperor. This is where it takes a wild turn. Pope Boniface the 8th. It says he lived in 1300, but we are clearly seeing things that happened in the 1st century, says the writers of the Geneva Bible. Is it possible he never lived in the 1300s? It did not even exist, but he was actually in the 1st century? Yeah. And of course, he was the Pope, in fact, that did ordain the first Jubilee year in 1300. But let's just prove it even further. Now we're in Daniel chapter 7, where he's talking about his visions of the 4th beast and the 10 horns and the kingdom's 10 kings that shall arise. Remember, this is the 1560 Geneva Bible, which I believe is actually just 560 or around 600 AD because a whole 1,000 years were added. Or should I say, changed. We've seen all the buildings with the 1 added before the 3-digit number. These were the emperors, and they had power to change God's laws and man's laws. Which emperors were they? Tiberius, Caligula, Nero, Domitius. It says 81 to 96, directly after, and the son of Vespasian. Meaning, indeed, Pope Boniface VIII was under Vespasian, who was the son of Domitius. And then, here's the concrete. It says, God by his power shall restore the things that are out of order and dethrone this beast should be destroyed. It even mentions Matthew 24 verse 22. After Nero was said to have the deadly head wound, it was said that he came back. Nero Redivivus was a legend that he came back at this end of time or end of this period while all this stuff was happening. Does that remind you of anything? He also had structures and statues built of him, and he was also on the money transforming into Apollo the god. And also, let me add that the 1560 Geneva Bible was outlawed by King James. Rabbit holes deeper than you've been told.